How you doing, guys? Let's continue on here with our late in the evening demonstration. So late in the evening is a very cool groove. You know, it was Steve Gadd played that song with Paul Simon, and as you saw in the intro, I was playing that groove. You know, with some variations. So if you watch on YouTube, you can see all about this groove. Some guys call it Mozambique. I never understood that. Mozambique is a country. You know, I don't know. I guess there are elements of what they do in that country in this groove, but there's a better explanation for it. And so if you watch the mambo groove I had, that cascadas, it's a little bit perverted. And by the word perverted, I don't mean anything bad. I mean, it's a little different. He does it a little differently than I played it there, but it's still a cascadas pattern. And Gadd, if you notice in that demonstration, I was using 4 sticks. Gadd did use 4 sticks on the recording. He talks about it, and that was really to make it sound like more than one guy. And you might say, well, how does that make you sound like more than one guy? You know, when you play 4 sticks, you're just not always going to hit, the 2 sticks are not always going to hit the drum at the same time. There's going to be a little bit of a sloppiness to it, just a little bit, and it's going to make it sound like more than one guy, because those grooves were generally played with, you know, 3 or 4 or 5 guys playing one drum and locking their stuff together. So even though those, if you listen to those African ensembles, oh man, they are tight and they are together. But there is this freedom where you can see that sometimes they're not super lined up, and it adds a humanness, and it's actually better. It's actually better that they're not computer together, because who wants that? Right? That's not human. Anyway, so Gadd used the 4 sticks. And he plays that groove with 4 sticks. We're gonna get to that at the end and how to hold 4 sticks and all that kind of stuff. But for now, we're gonna talk about the groove itself with just 2 sticks, so you can learn the groove. Taking my glasses, put it to the side. So again, we're talking about the cascadas, and cascadas is a rhythm that's generally played on the side of the drum. I got a towel there to keep these things a little quieter so you can hear it better. I'm going to play this here, right? So, let's start with the bottom. Let's start with the feet before we get to the cascadas. Gadd loves, I feel, especially in his pop tunes, very simple foot patterns. Gadd is the king of groove. There is nobody who grooves better than Gadd. This is just the truth, and we all just have to accept that. So when Gadd loves doing this, he puts his hi-hat and his foot on the same beat, with the downbeat, 1, 2, 3, and 4. And then he adds the da of 4. Right, so he's got that going on. So it's 1, 2, 3, 4 to 1. And that's pretty much what his feet do. Again, do you always have to play that da of 4? Yeah, that's your home base. If you want to leave it out sometimes, that's fine. And we're going to talk about that a little bit during this groove. Whenever you're doing a groove, like you're copping a groove from Steve Gadd or Steve Smith or whoever you're copping a groove from, you never want to be static about it. In other words, you don't want to do that groove the same exact perfect way all the time. You want to have some variations so the groove can breathe a little bit and be a little human, you know, and you want to respond as well to the way that a guitar player is approaching it. I've been on more than one gig where I learn a groove off a recording, and I get to the gig, and just the way that the approach of the bass player, I can tell the groove I learned from the record's just not going to work. So I need to change it. And so I keep the essentials of that groove that was on the recording, but I vary it enough to work with the bass player and the guitar player that I'm on stage with at that time. Again, your #1 rule, got to make the band sound good. Got to make the band sound good. So I'm also going to get my little close-up cam here going. You can probably see that in the thing. I have a little close-up cam. This is a new thing. We're going to try to get it going at the same time. So, the groove that you're playing on the rim of the drum, which is the cascada, is 1 N, 2 E N, a 3 E N, a 4 E N, a 1. You got that? That's kind of cool. 1 N, 2 E N, a 3 E N, a 4 E N, a 1. So you got kind of like this little almost 3-ish thing happening in the second half of it, and the first half is very much like something you would do on the mambo, right? And to get good at it, you know, you can put your other hand. Now I'm left-handed. My left hand is playing on the side of the drum or on the rim. Your right hand will be doing it. You can take your weak hand, which would be your left if you're right-handed, my right, and fill in the notes. I'm going to fill in the notes on the hat. So I'm going to go 1 N, 2 E N, a 3 E N, a 4 E N, a 1. And that's a good way to get to know that groove. Let's add the feet to that. Actually, you know what? To do that, I'm going to play it on the snare so I can play the hi-hat and the downbeats. And see, already you've got the makings of a good groove. You could do just that. And if you work on this kind of thing, this will facilitate other grooves that you can do with that kind of ghosting in one hand and then the cascadas in another. You know, this is a good doorway groove to a whole bunch of other grooves. You know, it's a gateway groove. Be careful of it, make it illegal. All right, I'm going to turn this off for a second. Here we go. All right, I'm learning about this video stuff. I'm telling you the truth. Okay, so this groove is very busy. And once you add the tom thing, this is what makes it a little bit difficult, right? It's a very independent thing. You want to go very slow. So the toms are going, they're alternating, right? Basically, he's going 1 E N, a 2 E N, a 3 E N, a 4 E N, a 1 E N, a 2 E N, a 3 E N, a 4 E N, a. So if you play that up to tempo, that's the imbayo. That is a very, very kind of Latin, African, sort of Afro-Cuban kind of thing, right? It's also a 3/3 clave kind of rhythm he's got going on there. And again, when I play it, I do a little variations with it. I don't play it exactly the same way every single time. And I've seen Gad play this live with Paul Simon a couple of times, and he did vary it. I mean, he was supposed to be with the 4/6 emulating 5 guys playing. You know, that's what he was supposed to be trying to do. And so in doing that, he wants to vary a little bit, because that's how human beings are. We vary. And this kind of thing would be normally played by guys who probably, you know, didn't go to Berklee College of Music, and they were probably great percussion players, and they're probably not going to do it very static. So you would vary it. So let's put that with this, and let me show you how it falls. Because it falls, you know, this part's a little bit difficult. Playing the back end for a little bit of a better sound, I do that a lot. So it is, let's get this going again. Here we go. 1 and a, right? 1 and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1 and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1 and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1 and a, 2 E and a, 3 E and a, 4 E and a, 1. Right? If I put that up to tempo. And I played this hand wrong, right? So you can hear, right? Now if I add my feet, just on the downbeats, right? So it's going to be really kind of moving around. Here we go. variations I like to use is I come down with endo 1, so it'd be right. Is that exactly what Gad played? He may have done that a couple times in there. I like it. I do it. It's a variation I use. So when I put that up to tempo, right? That's a very cool variation. Matter of fact, when I did it that time, I didn't put the foot on the duh. Again, you want to be a little bit free, but think of it this way. The basic groove I showed you, the one that is the basic groove with the 6 notes on your toms and that kaskadas and the 4 on the floor with the dub, that is your bass camp. But you do want to take little excursions here and there, right? The other thing that I do from time to time on is I don't play that last note, you know, where it goes bum, 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 bum. I leave that last duh of 4 out and just hit 1, so the bass drum is more prevalent. Out that 1 on the tom, so the bass drum is more at a highlighted moment in that spot. Why do I do that? Again, you know, it's just you want to have a couple of variations to be free. The other thing that Gad does, which I like, is in the middle of the tune, he breaks it up to the cymbal. He does the same thing, but he's doing it up here. That's also another very cool part. Now, keeping this really short, let's talk about the 4 sticks. All right, I've seen some guys on YouTube, they hold their sticks this way, like that. I guess I hold too tight with my thumb, and this hurts. I have not seen Gad do it that way. I've seen Gad do it this way, right? You're kind of holding them like clubs a little bit. Right? The other thing you want to pay attention to on this, when you do little fills, when you listen to Gad, they're very rhythmical, almost melodically rhythmical. Let's say that again because that's my new phrase. Melodically rhythmical, right? So that's the kind of fills you want to do. Remember, this is a way that Gad found to sound like 2 or more guys doing this groove. So when you hear those percussionists play, you know, they're very deliberate, very rhythmical. It's so beautiful to listen to that stuff. So let's just do it with the 4 stick. So let's go out with the 4 stick thing, right? Again, it's the same thing I just did, very same thing, but with the 4 sticks. Holding it like this, right? We'll go slow for a second, and then let's fade out with this. Let's hit the bass drum and the hi-hat. Let's take it up to tempo and take it out. And you can do this, man. This ain't hard. If you follow the mambo one, this is the natural progression of that. So here we go.